Good evening, welcome to the Professor Maima Show. Hope you are doing well wherever watching me from around the world. Please subscribe, share, and like this video. So now, if you walk around Kenya, this beautiful country of ours, there are so many young people who are jobless, more so young men and women. They are in these towns, but majority are living in shanties. We call them slums. In slums, in the so-called developed countries are those like those flats. They have flats and they are not in good conditions. But here slums is things made out of metal sheets, and then they're just small hovels. In fact, there are more hovels. The hovels in the English dictionary just means a damp place. So most of these young people live in slums which don't even have basic sanitation, whether you are even water. So imagine you're living in a slum house, which is a very small area. Even this place of mine can even host two families or even a whole family, a very small room, this bedroom of mine. So now what happens in the slum areas, they're made out of majority are very small, they're congested. You find even 10,000 people living in a very small area, And then they're on top of that, the rent is cheap, isn't it? But we're just renting space, sleeping space, because there's no supply of water, that's one. There's no good sanitation, so you have flying toilets and all that, although the government tried to improve some of it, but it's not easy because the drainage system is not there. When it rains, people are carried away with their furniture and what have you, isn't it? So that's what I'm saying. Kenyans get back to farming. You see, these young men came to the capital city of Kenya is because they want to get jobs, isn't it? But there are no jobs. The government has not created jobs. And this problem started at independence when our founding fathers, because the white men had left us some big parastatals like Kenya Railways, I don't know, you have these city councils, and then we just had many parastatals. Like Kenya, remember Kenya Railways was the biggest employer, isn't it? And then city council also a big employer. So majority of people would come from up country to work in town. And then also private companies came out like it's called the Butter Company, Treetop. So there were jobs in towns. So that was justified for people to come to Kenya, isn't it? These organizations used to employ many people, the parastatals, Kenya Railways. We had the Butter, if I remember well, when I was growing up, Kenya Agricultural Research Institute for the more specialist people. Even one of my uncles used to be a scientist there. So those were justified. And then you had middle income areas like Babadogo, Umoja, all these, even bungalows. In Umoja, people don't know it used to be bungalow areas, middle class. But now these days is more of just mixture of slums and what have you. So now, at our founding fathers, that was the thing. It was people coming to the cities to develop. So they neglected the rural areas. So that's why when we used to go up country, they used to talk about Ushago, rural areas, and what have you. But now, fast forward, our towns are even worse off than rural areas because of devolutions. We have counties, isn't it? So these counties, they get money from the central government. We passed a constitution in 2010 to share the money. Back in the days, the president or the central government which used to determine development. So I remember if our president would visit some village, unknown areas in Kenya, the roads will be made. They'll even put, it's called power lighting. Once the president leaves, those things will be left to wither away. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. Kenyans get back to farming. So that was the genesis of the problems you have now. So what should be done? You see, what we need is government to seriously invest in agriculture. Our agriculture is dying because the farmer is for now is perceived as someone who is just poor, is always in tattered clothes. But in America, I was watching this documentary, a farmer is well dressed. They have their aprons when they're on the farm, their gumboots, they have their nice aprons. And then when they're not in the aprons, they're in a nice clothes, they're driving four-wheel vehicles. But here in Kenya, someone drives a four-wheel vehicle just for parking. In America, four-wheel vehicles are like pickups, double cabin that carry goods. So they're running to his wealth. But here in Kenya, someone just buys a big vehicle for show off. So you're living in an affluent area, let's say Kilimani, Kileleshwa. You have this four-wheel drive, which is a fuel gasoline, just to show off. But in developed countries, people who live in high-class areas, majority, what do? They drive very what vehicles like Mercedes Benz, I don't know, Porsche. You understand? Which are labeled on good roads. But here is the reverse. So now the government needs to invest in agriculture. It needs to sit down and say, these farmers of ours, we need to give them first of all free fertilizer and free seeds. That can happen. But now you see there are cartels which import the seeds at throwaway price, and then they sell to the farmers at high price to make profit. So everything in Kenya is just a cartel. That's why the country is dying. It's like you are in your bed and thousands of mosquitoes are biting you. You'll die. Here in our country, maybe a few mosquitoes can bite you the night. They can even be 5 or 10. That's enough. But imagine 1,000 mosquitoes biting you. You'll die, isn't it? Like, in fact, they are bed bugs. The cartels in Kenya in every sector like bed bugs, just taking the blood out of the country. So now, our farmers need free seeds and fertilizer for even 2 years maximum. Value addition is done. We have so many arable lands where, because of rainfall, people don't do farming. So you need irrigation year all round. First of all, rainwater harvesting, and then irrigation year all round, and then value addition, and then we create jobs, and then we work on our infrastructure. Our roads are in pathetic situation. We need super highways like yesterday across the country. I'm happy the president said they are going to build one from Mombasa through Nairobi to Western. Although the one to Western, they're starting short. They're saying to Nakuru, to Kisumu. Why don't you just say, bring a contractor and say, build for us a road from Nairobi to Mombasa and another one from Nairobi to Western Kenya. One touch. One touch means that I go. These things are faces so that people can eat tenders. I'm telling you, we're just a silly country. And then rail network. Like yesterday, a rail network should be combining the whole country. Should ensure that all the country is connected by rail network across the counties, even the cities. You have metro rail network, so that people can move easily, goods and products that are manufactured in industries. You have good security. Your policemen become more of a service more than a force. They're not abducting people by just providing security. You make the taxation in Kenya go down so that people have money to spend. Investors, when they come to Kenya, they find low energy costs so they can set up factories. No one is setting up factories in this country. The president is always opening housing, it's called housing projects. But after a while, these housing projects won't need workers. People are living inside. So what should be happening in Kenya is for people to be, the president and the other should be opening factories that create jobs for these young Gen Zs. That's what I'm saying. Kenyans get back to farming. We have neglected the sector, and it's the one which is going to employ people. Imagine a county like Busia doing serious large-scale cotton farming with serious value addition, with industries that produce textile. This textile should be big in Busia, Kisumu with serious fishing, the Rift Valley with serious value addition to their coffee, tea, so that even have factories that make the final product. This is what they do. They take raw material, which is tea and coffee, and export it. And then the companies of America make it and sell it to our middle class. How stupid are we? How can you be growing something in your own home and you sell it to a neighbor and then go and buy it back because they have processed it at higher money? Aren't you just, it's called what? That's food's paradise, isn't it? So that's why I'm saying Kenya gets back to farming. Invest in agriculture, cattle farming, which is doing good beef. We should be supplying most of Africa with beef from Kenya that creates jobs. Because the people keep cattle in this country, they just eat pastoralism. They just move around with their cattle and they don't add any value to it. isn't it? They just die off during, is it, a famine and what have you, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Kenya gets back to farming. So this is the Professor Maima show. I want to pray for you who's watching me that you have a long life and you are and you are and all your dreams and reality are actualized, and you become rich and prosperous, not only you, your children, grandchildren, and all your generations. I also pray for my dreams to become reality and I become rich and prosperous. And I also want to pray for our country Kenya to have peace and prosperity. Those are my prayers. Amen. And as I always say, gwaheri ya kuonana, gwaheri.